What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and some more video game news today. With Activision's latest Call of Duty Vanguard out, sales data is rolling in and it looks quite poor, on top of some ridiculous bending of the knee from Activision over a few offended weirdos on Twitter. Not a good launch for Vanguard. And that's not even talking about the server issues or bugs and things like that. The completely broken spawn points. If you've played this game, and by the way, I am one of those people. I am the literal worst. I just plan on buying the new Call of Duty game every year because I'm an idiot, and I just buy it. And then every single time I complain about how it's trash, and I never learn. Look, it took me about 8 years to get off the Madden train of sadness. So I'm hoping Call of Duty will come soon after, but it's difficult when you have different studios developing them, so it becomes more difficult to hold the last one against the new studio. Modern Warfare I thought was pretty good. Vanguard, I've got maybe 20 hours into it. Not great. And it's what it is first of all, for me, the TTK is ridiculous. That has to get fixed. Second of all, the spawn points are so broken that like sometimes you're in these like 20 or 8v8s or 12v12s in maps, and I've had people literally repeatedly spawn right in front of me, or I'm spawning right in front of someone else. And there is no worse feeling than that, other than having someone cheat, which of course is a staple of people who play Call of Duty. You see those people with 15 KD rates and you just, no, nothing feels worse than that. I do love the environment. I love the weapon choices. I do like some of the maps, but overall, the game's a disappointment, as is nearly every Call of Duty when it first comes out. Although, again, Modern Warfare was a little bit better. I want to start with this ridiculous apology that they issued. There was a depiction of a torn up Quran seen in Call of Duty Vanguard. This is the religious text of the Muslims, and of course it was ripped up on the floor in some set piece. Would have been totally normal, but you can't do that. Now if it was a Holy Bible, it would be totally fine. We all know that. In light of a wave of outrage from Muslim players, Activision has issued an apology and removed the depiction of a torn up Quran seen strewn across the floor of a map featured in their latest release. Why? Tell them to whine more. I mean, have you listened to the voice chat in Call of Duty? You want to find something offensive, that's where you're going to find it. Prior to the removal, the images could be seen tossed around the floor amidst a number of other documents in the game's sole zombie modes map. Also, zombies is a massive disappointment. Now, I don't care for zombie mode, so it doesn't affect me, but I'm reiterating what a lot of people who do enjoy zombie mode. So it's covered in featuring the actual text of the Muslim holy book. Now, did you have to include that? No. Would I have avoided it? Yeah, probably. You could have made something that looks like it. Now, here's the thing. If you're going for realism, maybe that map, where it is, makes sense. I do understand, though, like, you're still talking about a huge group of people who are many times being depicted by the worst among them, which sucks. But that said, let's be honest. If this was a Holy Bible, Activision never would have removed it. We all know why they did. Additionally, their placement on the map allowed players to tread upon them during the fight against the hordes of bad guys from WW2 zombies. So while you're mowing down evil hankety-clankety zombies, you're offended that there's this book on the ground. I mean, though seemingly identical according to Islamic beliefs, the Quran holds the literal word of God in written form. As such, Muslims believe that copies of the text, and in their opinion, any excerpts, should be treated with the highest religious reverence. That's fine. Treat your books how you want. But it's also just a video game. I don't think they're making any. I mean, you look how hard you had to zoom in to find that. You had to, I can't even tell what that is. Brothers, I see pages of the Quran on the ground in the zombie map. I see that it should be removed as soon as possible. Okay. Call of Duty is for everyone, wrote Activision. There was insensitive content. Mistakenly included last week. Of course it wasn't a mistake, you idiots. You put it there deliberately. Somebody had to render that and do it. The apology's worse. Now, you see some people in the comments saying, as a Christian, I would have felt the same if it was a Bible. Sadly, though, I don't think Activision would have acted so swiftly if the Christians raised the same concern. Well, yeah, of course. Of course. We all know why they apologized. Pointless in a game where you're ending other players consistently. You're worried about the offense of a few people on Twitter, but that's the way the world works. Perhaps in a related story, the UK Call of Duty launch down 40% year over year. Now, the early sales numbers are usually from the UK. I don't know why it works out that way, but it just is. And normally when you see release numbers down a big number, like between releases, let's say between Red Dead Redemption 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2, the headline of, digital sales being down doesn't hit that, doesn't smack that hard, because there's, 10 years between releases and most consoles have gone discless. But when there's a new release every single year, the percentage of people who are now discless that weren't discless before, God, I hope YouTube reads that word correctly, is much smaller. So the huge drop in sales is relevant. Call of Duty Vanguard's launch sales in the UK are down 40% over last year's game, the latest GSD data shows. Physical retail, this does include physical and digital. So this is a bigger deal. See, this is what I don't read the articles ahead of time because I want my reactions to be pure, but then sometimes that happens. Physical retail sales dropped 26% over last year's game, whereas digital sales fell 44%. It's a disappointing result, but Vanguard is still the second biggest game launch of the year behind FIFA 22. It's tempting to speculate what may highlight fatigue within Call of Duty franchise, but there are a few areas that will negatively impact its sales this year. First of all, Vanguard's critical response was muted, and the World of War II Call of Duty games have typically performed below that of more modern-based titles. The console hardware transition is also something that needs to be considered, alongside the other competition Battlefield 2042 and Halo Infinite. Finally, there are service-based Call of Duty players on Warzone. The free-to-play Battle Royale game launched last year and remains hugely popular. The other new release in combined digital plus physical charts is Just Dance in 2022, which debuts at number 11, and that game's sales are down 35%. It's interesting, I don't know. Is it time for a different game? It's probably tough to tell Activision that, because even at being down 40% in sales, we still have Christmas coming up. And we still have, you're still the number 2 Call of Duty Vanguard sales in the UK plummet, showing a general downward trend. As Vanguard sales dip, is it time for Activision to innovate? First reported by GameIndustry.biz, the numbers for Activision's latest FPS are dwindling and trailing, continuing a trend of weak sales performance following last year's Black Ops Cold War, which was a great game, I thought. In comparison, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War had a fall of 64% in physical sales, which again, that may, whatever, and compared to Modern Warfare for 2019, but compensated for it with a rise of 39% in digital sales. This year being down 40% from last year means it's down 80% from the year before. That's not how the math works exactly, but it's, significantly down. If we look at the Call of Duty Metacritic Scores, look, there was really no controversy about this game. There wasn't a lot of reason to buy it. So many people are fine just playing the same game over and over and over again with Warzone. By the way, they probably make more money with Warzone. The user scores, this is on PC, where you're generally seeing a little better user scores. But if we look at it on, a 10, no. Here's 4.8 on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, 5.9. These are not, you're not writing home about these scores. I mean, that's just a fact. For PC, the 4.6, look, I hate aim assist. I recognize that a very good PC player with mouse and keyboard is very good. They can be very good, but aim assist in general really stinks to play against. That's just my opinion. There just wasn't a lot of hype about this game. There just wasn't much to say about it. You look at some of the negative, literal trash. Feminist agenda is far not the worst part of the game, which is actually worse. The attention to details. Yeah, there were a lot of female operators. I noticed that, but I guess who cares? Once again, terrible maps. It's impossible to control. You end one, you get ended from 8 size. Return to the level of map designers who created Black Ops 1. It's not impossible to play if you make a game for those who come in once every 2 weeks. And Call of Duty fans' spirit in the soul and desire to compete disappears, and interest in Call of Duty is generally lost. What they're saying here is, it's so bad that unless you're playing constantly and you memorize every niche and corner of the map, you can't even just pop in and have a good time, which to me, that's what Call of Duty has always been. I just play for a couple of weeks, level up my weapons and pop in and pop out. But once it's just, you're at a 0.2 KD because you haven't played every single day, that's pretty demoralizing. And I think that's a trend that's happening year over year. Have you played Call of Duty Vanguard? What do you think the reason is for the sales dip? I'll be curious to hear all your comments in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.